guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics. So I have Joel and Mike Massey here from Gone with the Twins. I think you already know who they are. We've been doing this long enough.
Thanks for having us back.
Thanks for taking me to another movie. I think we're gonna attempt to. Well, I'm gonna attempt to go to more movies with them. So maybe we can make this a weekly thing or something like that. So we got something coming up tomorrow too. Yeah. I gotta treat them well.
Cost you.
Yeah, it does. Trust me, you guys. I turn this
off. Wine and dine us.
This isn't coffee, guys. What do they call that? Or whatever. So what was the movie again that we saw? Harry Potter?
So we just saw Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Grindelwald, for anybody who thought it was Grindelwald.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, no, they pronounce it Grindelwald in numerous scenes, so I guess it's like...
It's Harry Potter 14.
Yeah, no, actually, it's actually it's number 12. It's number 9,
but it's in the front.
Yeah, it's kind of everything takes.
It's a sequel to a prequel.
It's like Star Wars.
That's correct.
All over again.
Yeah. So this is part 2, and there is no preface. There's no lead-in. It just immediately goes.
So you really have to remember what happened in the previous movie.
If you're foggy at all about what happened in the first Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, you're gonna have to go back and watch it again, because they start just coming at you with all these characters and things, and there's no backstory. There's no recap. No nothing. You're just once again thrust into this world, and it's convoluted. There's a lot of characters, a lot of new faces.
Actually, when this movie started, I didn't remember why the characters don't remember each other, and why they don't expect to see each other.
The dude that we thought died at the end of the first one.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
He floated off at the end of the first one, I believe.
I didn't. I didn't brush up. I'm warning. I'm warning your audience.
Do your homework before seeing this movie, otherwise you're gonna be lost because they don't.
Yeah, watch the first one. Yeah, there's a dude that walks around with a suitcase full of...
Well, yeah, animals. That's the easy part.
That's what we all
remembering how all of the characters, interact in their relationship.
Remembering Credence is important. This character, and I think we all remember Queenie and Jacob, and we remember
some of the side characters. Lita Lestrange and Newt Scamander has a brother, I guess, and Tina is an R at the
Newt's the main guy.
Ministry of Magic.
Newt's the guy with the suitcase.
we're gonna seem like we don't know what we're talking about. But anyway, so on to this movie. Just make sure you're familiar with what happened in the first film before you go into this one. But anyway, so for this film, obviously, for people who've seen the trailer, the new big addition is Dumbledore. We finally get to see him as a young character, and he's played by Jude Law, and it's actually a pretty good performance. You kind of get a hint of...
Was he not in the previous one at all? I thought he was.
I don't think so.
No?
I'm pretty
sure.
No, this was his bigger... And also...
we have seen the original.
Yeah, also we get John... And, there was a tease of Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, and now we get to see him in a full role. And I actually thought he was pretty good as a villain.
I thought he was the best character.
Yeah, I mean, since he's a wife-beater in real life, now here we get to see him.
Okay, hang on a second. I just saw news...
I don't know. We shouldn't comment on that.
Hey, I don't buy Johnny. Nightmare on Elm Street, baby.
He's an effective villain, whether or not you believe he's a villain in real life.
They're gonna ask me to edit. You know what? I'm not going to. Not this time.
We're gonna pepper this thing with awkward pauses.
I just gotta say, okay, visually, of course, it was great, but there weren't as many visuals as I wanted. But there were some. I mean, right when it opened, I was like, okay, here we go. This is good. And then, sorry, but...
Actually, yeah, so the opening scene, I had a lot of problems with the opening scene because...
Too dark, too.
So the opening scene is basically the setup for Grindelwald escaping and then being the villain, the antagonist through the rest of the film. The problem with this opening scene is, for starters, you've got Grindelwald, who is being escorted away from... He's in a London prison, I think it is, or the American prison. I think he's in New York.
They're transporting
him to Europe to serve, or to serve a trial to be...
I know where he's going to right now.
Anyway, so, we get this scene where a lot of commotion, a lot of hubbub is going on. It's not only really hard to focus on what's happening, it's storming, you got lightning, you got magic, you got dragons, you got all kinds of stuff going on. The big problem is, as he's being transported, they give his keepers the wand, which is why would he need to be transported with a wand? And he's transported with a little vial that plays a big role in the rest of the film. And it just seems very strange that it's like transporting Hannibal Lecter and also transporting some Chianti and I don't know, some fava beans or something.
key to the handcuffs.
Say, here's the key. We're just going to put this right next to him. Yeah, don't let him get it. You know. So that whole opening scene, you know where it's going. It's not meant to be a surprise, but it also it's a little bit anticlimactic, and it's kind of a jumble. We just get a lot of
also the film
flurry.
Doesn't really have a lot of big action set pieces that, and a lot of the previous Harry Potter films especially had some really fantastic, very complex action sequences, a lot of fighting magic and everything. This one, not so much.
It's a long 2.5 hours.
yeah. I think it was a 2:15 or something like that.
Well,
but
this
it did feel
seem longer.
Yeah. Well, and this is the nature of almost every one of these series, and this the same problem with Star Wars and with a lot of these different big fantasy epics is everything is serialized now. We don't have individual beginning, middle, and ends. We don't have a complete story.
It's all continuous.
It's all continuation.
So this film, maybe more than the others, feels like a sliver out of a giant story.
I mean, you start in the middle of the story. Right in the end, there's no introduction, there's no recap. And then it ends, again, as a tease to the next film. So, what's interesting about this is that because these aren't based on books, fans are not going to know where this is going. So it's going to, even more so than the other films, it's going to feel like it's made up on the spot.
It wasn't written first.
No, these are based on original screenplays or original stories.
It was not a book first.
So it's a lot of the ideas are based on J.K. Rowling's materials.
She wrote the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken.
For the first one, I'm pretty sure
she had written by J.K. Rowling.
Oh, did it? Okay.
In the credits.
Well, anyway, I mean, she'll get a credit for the story anyway because these are her characters and it's going in the direction that she wants these characters to go.
I'm pretty sure she's quite involved with it, so she kind of gets to say.
But
exactly
anyway, to go back to the fans, when the other films came out, when the actual Harry Potter movies came out, people could read the books and they knew what the story was going to happen, where it was going to happen, or where it was going to go. And there was the excitement there came about as how they were going to visualize these characters that you love and the storylines that you love. How are they going to put it all together? What is it going to look like in this?
That's interesting. Not knowing what's going to happen.
But at the same time, because of that, you get a very spontaneous feel. And one of the examples that we talked about on the way here was there's a scene where Creedon's character, there's some secrets revolving around his identity, and at one point a character says, all of the answers are inside of a locked box inside of the Ministry of Magic, I believe it was, underground in a vault. And my big problem with something like that is it's so on the spot. Yeah. Oh, you need you need something that has all your secrets in it? Let's just conjure it.
It's almost on the spot. More of what do we do next? Here's the answer.
Yeah, that was a trick. Anyway, spoiler. So,
well, it's not a spoiler because we don't know, we won't reveal what's in the box and where those revelations go. But yeah, for me, anytime, you need some kind of magic, we'll just conjure one up. Oh, you need a dragon to get you from one location to the next, we'll just whip one up. Yeah. Yeah. And so then you get, again, even if it's based on something that J.K. Rowling, this overarching thing that she's got going on, as the audience, we don't know what's ticking. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So all we can see is them creating something very spontaneously. Whatever you need, we'll just devise it.
But it wasn't even that. I mean, you're saying that they actually provided us with something, and honestly, I feel like it was long and drawn. I'm going to just step in and just give you one quick thing. I'm going to make 2 points here. Number one, when we first got in there's a lot of people that were dressed up. They're all cosplay. It was like Harry Potter galore in there. We were the only. I mean, these guys are close. They look like wizards already. But I'm like the only guy in there. And but what I noticed is it was quiet the whole movie. I've been to other ones where everyone's like, oh yeah, they're flying around on brooms and all. No, it was dead quiet. I don't even think the fans were excited about it. That's the first thing I got. The second thing I got was I thought I was going to die in that movie theater. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I can watch any movie. I don't care how long it is. I have sleep apnea. Okay? So I was like wishing my CPAP was there. Because I was starting to fall asleep multiple times. And when I fall asleep without a seat, I could die. So just imagine newspaper. Guy dies in the theater from falling asleep. So that's all I kept thinking. It was fun visually, but it was drawn out super long.
That's a pretty
I almost died.
Condemnation of the film.
There's a long pause in between.
Oh man, there's
action that's
multiple.
Going on.
Yeah. There's only 2 big scenes. Honestly.
Also, the original film being called Fantastic Beasts and whatever, they had a lot of variety of monsters.
It was better,
and stuff.
I thought.
This film there's really only a couple of monsters that you get to see, and the beasts and whatnot.
And it's difficult for this franchise to come up with something completely original, because once again with Grindelwald, how can you not compare him to Voldemort? How can you not compare all of his followers?
And that's
to
what
the
I'm wondering.
Is that
so they related, or
so here we have a brand new series with new characters, but they kind of are following the exact same path that Harry Potter and
Star Wars.
It's very predictable.
Wars.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be predictable, but it does.
And there's some really interesting revelations toward the finale of the film, but even those are not out of line with this series. So I think a lot of people can predict
I felt that a lot of the supporting characters would have made better villains than Grindelwald. Certainly more interesting, different, because Grindelwald really just feels like Voldemort all over again.
Yeah, it's ironic maybe that in order to be a Harry Potter villain, you have to dress all in black, and have pale skin, pasty face, blonde hair or something like that. Yeah, one weird eye. Yeah, it's almost like a James Bond villain, right?
That's so funny.
As if we don't know that it's a James Bond villain just because they're trying to take over the world or whatever. They also have to have a peg leg or a hook or something like that.
That's exactly how I felt at the beginning. Right when it opened and you have the bad guy scene, right? Mm-hmm. I felt James Bond. I felt James Bond in a wizard world. Except James Bond is nonstop. Pretty much. Yeah. With a couple love scenes and some gambling or whatever. But this
some baccarat. This movie needed some baccarat.
Yeah, shaken not stirred or something. But the beginning was James Bond feel instantly, I felt. And then it turned into
Well, again, because there's no setup, it opens with a cold open, which is just thrust you right in the middle of the action. And so then you get this big adventurous action scene. However, after that, everything slows down, because then you have to go back to, that was just a tease. That's, trying to get you invested in Grindelwald's, what's going to happen. So then you have to go back to, here's all our characters going about their routines and their daily lives. And eventually they meet up again. But there's
in between your bouts of worrying about dying, were there any parts you liked about the film?
Okay, yes.
There are tough critic here.
There are two things I like. I like the little dude, that's the little wood dude who reminds me of Groot. He's like a little stick.
Yeah, the little... from
they call him
Key or Pick.
Pick, yeah.
And then I like the Niblets beaver platypus.
Yeah, the little platypus
I believe they call him Niffler.
Niffler. That was great.
Well, that kind of brings you back to the what kind of made the first one interesting. Is that
the little things.
There's a variety of and I like that aspect where he has to go out of his way to find these strange beasts, help them out, and then they come back to help him later.
Well,
but it's very but with this movie it's very sparse. You get a sense of
why it was called Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. This one, although it has the word Fantastic Beasts in the title or the phrase, it has nothing to do with beasts really.
It's a filler. This movie is a filler for the third. In between the first and the third. It's like an origin.
There's supposed to be 5 of them. So, God. This is not even a filler to get to the next chapter.
It feels like that.
Right, and that's, that's a problem. It's, on the right over here, we were likening it to something like Game of Thrones. Back in the day, you would criticize something by saying, it looks like it was made for TV. Well, TV production values have gotten so, high. They look so good now that it's no longer an insult to say something or to compare something to a television episode. But the thing with television is that they do this very serialized episodic thing where at the beginning of it gets right into the middle of the action, and the end of it is a tease cliffhanger for the next episode.
They have to try to hook you to get you back next week.
So this is now like Game of Thrones or something. This is now the same thing. Although it may be 2 hours, it's like a really, really long television episode. By the end of it, we're once again kind of left with a cliffhanger, teasing you into the next episode. And then the problem is, of course, we're going to have to wait like 2 years to get to it. So
Game of Thrones is way better.
Well, at least you can binge watch something like Game of Thrones. There's countless comparisons, Westworld, things like that. And those episodes being only about an hour long, you can kind of, it may take you 10 hours, but you kind of get
Westworld took a long time to...
Yeah, I don't remember how many episodes there were.
I think one of the reasons the original Harry Potter series is more effective is that it's kind of separated by year. Yeah. So you get to the end of the school year, and maybe the story's not completely done, but it does feel like
in the course of the year, you have a beginning, middle, and end. You have a beginning of the school year, a middle of the school year, end of the school year. Yeah. And this one does not have that kind of structuring. We don't have... This is literally just the middle piece of a much larger story.
The middle.
Yeah, and it's not even the official middle. The next film,
it's like you were saying, Game of Thrones. Like there's 10 episodes, right? First one's always good. Last 2 are really good, and then you just keep watching. It's like the third episode of like Game of Thrones. It's okay, but it's not. You're not waiting. You want the good stuff.
Going back to you calling this filler. Part of the problem too with the fact that this isn't based on a book that we can all read in advance is the audience won't know what's filler and what is really integral to this overarching story, the plot line, right? So when we see something that feels spontaneous, we have no other way to interpret it other than, oh, you made that up on the spot.
It feels like that, like it's all on the fly.
Yeah, and again, you got a little bit of that in the original Harry Potter series, but because it's based on a book, J.K. Rowling had an idea of where things were going. So almost anything that you might have felt was extraneous probably had a point to it, and it might resurface in part 6 or part 7.
It's in the trailer that, Dumbledore approaches Scamander and says, I've got a mission for you. And he really doesn't even accomplish that one simple mission. So.
Yeah. So it's interesting because the whole plot of this middle piece is the hunt for Credence, the hunt for Tina, the hunt for Queenie, the hunt for Grindelwald. You've got every character is hunting to try to acquire something or another character, and by the end, you sort of get a little bit of, everybody's kind of meeting up, and you get a little bit of closure. But
not really.
You've got all of these separate plots that are literally nothing more than following or tailing somebody to get to somebody.
And it's honestly, this movie has no point. Think about it, like you're just saying.
It's fair.
Everyone's chasing some little thing. There's one little thing, and I'm not going to say what it is. You said there was a mission. He kind of did complete the mission. If you look at it that way, at the very end, there's something that he got. But throughout the whole movie, like he said, everyone's hunting for something. It's a waste of 2 hours. Yeah. You can watch 20 minutes. First 10, last 15. You're good to go. Everything else in the middle is not even important.
It's a fair criticism. I think fans of the series will probably enjoy a lot of the things happening in here because it's building upon characters they love. But if you're not a fan of the series, you're going to get a lot.
It's similar to maybe like Lord of the Rings that has a 2.5-hour theatrical version. But for the diehard fans, there's like a 3.5-hour extra cut. So this movie is kind of like that extra hour and a half that was cut from the original thing.
That's true.
Well,
the diehard fans are going to love it.
To go with the comparison, if this is the extended cut, what we really needed to see was the hour-long version.
The real,
right, where we just got the meat and potatoes, and then all the rest of it is unnecessary.
It's true though, because you say true fan, okay? I've seen every Harry Potter movie. I've seen everything, all of them, and that was the boringest one.
On the way out of the theater, there were several people who shared that opinion, who said this was the weakest of the...
Yeah, I heard someone say that. The weakest out of the 10. I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
it's fun.
Such is the nature, I think, of being a middle chapter. And again, because this is a middle, this isn't even, a link like Empire Strikes Back.
We're all agreed? 3 thumbs up? Go see this movie?
No, I'm giving it... I don't think I've done a thumbs down.
We're doing
do we even do that?
2 platypus beaks down.
And one stick... What's his name?
Yeah.
Stick guy.
And one little Groot rip-off.
Yeah, I do love the little Groot dude.
Yeah.
And the beaver.
But I mean, he's in it for what? 5 minutes, if that.
Part.
And the last thing I wanted to mention was the lack of comic relief. We get a little.
This movie is far more serious than the.
It wasn't fun, but not in a serious way.
You felt that in the original Harry Potter series as they were getting older.
They're trying to be
dark,
dramatic,
but it fit with the aging of the characters, the maturity of the characters, and the increasing power of Voldemort. Here, we don't know what exactly is going to happen with Grindelwald and what's where this storyline's going so much. Although we can probably predict Grindelwald's going to cause a lot of problems and it's going to require all of the good wizards to stop him.
Yeah, he doesn't really bust out with anything too great.
Yeah, but here it's pretty serious. So you don't get all of that levity that kind of makes these fantasy epics more fun.
The best way I can say for you comic fans is it's like Magneto gathering up all the mutants to fight against the humans and the good. And he's huh? But nerd. Besides that, you're all going to see it if you're Potter fans and whatever. If I had a choice, I wouldn't have gone. There you go.
Hey, we pulled a lot of strings to get you in that screen.
But, it was a good little nap. I needed
now you're all refreshed and ready.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's a low spot.
It's an extraneous piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. But again, that's not to deter anybody who's a diehard fan of the series.
Good visuals.
You're gonna want to. if you want to stick it through to the end, you're going to need this middle piece.
You have to see it if you're a diehard. You know, you're going to see it, and you'll agree with us later.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having us back.
Thanks again for taking me. We got another one tomorrow that's very interesting. I'll talk about it to you tomorrow. It's not a movie. It's actually a TV show with some super special stuff for Phoenix people. All right, that's my little secret. So thanks for watching. Again, go to gonewithtwins.com. Gonewiththetwins.com. Seriously, guys, go to their site. Read a review. You have to read. You have to read the writing. I'm telling you, it's something special. It really is something special. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. Thanks for coming, guys. Chloe says bye too.